Hi everyone, it's Igor from Australia, and today we will talk about posture. If you're like me, who is spending a lot of time in front of the computer, then the subject of posture is probably something that's been bothering you for quite some time now. You might experience some neck pains, back pains, or even headaches, and I will explain to you why in this video and how to fix it permanently. My journey into the whole research and understanding of how to have a correct posture goes back to high school, when I was diagnosed with a minor case of scoliosis. Back then I realized that to keep my health, I need to have a healthy spine, obviously correct posture, which is something very hard to do when you sit in front of the computer for prolonged periods of time. You probably know about this one. The first part, why it's difficult to do, because you might notice even for yourself or even in your co-workers or classmates that for people who sit in front of the computer for long periods of time and now using mobile phones, we tend to put our head forward. What it does, it increases tension on your back muscles. And those back muscles, they were never designed to keep your head forward. They were designed to keep your head in place, static. Also, what happens when you walk like this, like with your head forward? The rest of your spine and the rest of your body tries to compensate your posture, like your head being forward, and the rest of your spine gets affected. And it all happens only because you sit in front of the computer or looking at your smartphone. And that's because something that's unnatural for a human being to do. No, I understood the problem, right? So why it happens. But then I started researching how to fix it. You've probably seen a few videos before this video that will tell you how to make your posture straight, but never to keep it. And this is why I'm making this video, to show you what it takes to make correct posture and once for all, and just to keep it. The first area that you need to cover is being mindful about your posture. I've done this for a while, and what I found out that I tend to relapse to the original state after a while. So this wasn't the fix, because it took an effort, right? To be mindful and to remind yourself all the time to keep this correct posture. My next step was to make my neck muscles and my back muscles strong in order to help me keep myself straight, because it took too much effort to do it. So I started going to the gym. After a few years of going to the gym, it became easier to keep my posture straight. I could do it. But it took me effort to do it. It was uncomfortable for my body to keep my posture straight, as it's not something that it usually does. And if it's uncomfortable and it puts extra pressure on your muscles, they get stiff after a while. So obviously you can't just go on like this all the time. This took me to another area, that I need to see a specialist, because I couldn't solve it myself. What kind of specialist do you go see for your posture? You can go to your GP, and then it might send you to do an X-ray, but they will not see anything. And the guy who does an X-ray, they're also not qualified in spine, for example. You might go to a surgeon. They also might look at your spine and see there is no problem in it. The kind of specialist you need to see would be either osteopath or chiropractor. My experience with chiropractic started back at home in Russia, where I would go every 6 months or so. I would get myself adjusted, and I remember feeling myself great for a while. Not for a while, for maybe a few days after getting adjusted. I've noticed people make these same mistakes. They think that you need to be adjusted just once, or once in a while. That's not. Because you get adjusted today, tomorrow your mind forgets that you get adjusted and it goes to previous habits. I've been going to different specialists, different osteopath, different chiropractor in Melbourne, in Sydney, in Russia as well. And I never found somebody who could provide me with the long-term solutions, as they were all temporary fixes. Till about a few months ago, I discovered a professional. This was the first chiropractor who actually had an X-ray machine in his office. And he had his practice for about 25 years. So I thought, like, if somebody could help me, then that's probably him. On the first visit, he took X-rays, he did some examination on me. And we introduced himself, told me what he does, inquired about my life. And on the second visit, when I came back, we looked at my X-rays. We discussed my situation, which wasn't too bad, but there was a lot that needed to be done. And then what he's done, which none of the previous specialists did for me, he prescribed me a program. It was a 3-month program, which is I'm still on, and it's been going for 2 months, and I could definitely see changes to my condition, and changes that I haven't experienced before. And those changes involve me having my posture straight and not requiring any efforts of doing so. Yes, I still need to be a little bit mindful about this, but mostly not to revert to my old habits. For example, I still use my smartphone, or I still sit in front of the computer improperly. But apart from that, it doesn't require me any effort to keep straight. And this is something that took a while to do. And also I'll tell you about why it needs to be consistent. Why you can't just go once in a while to get adjusted. And with my program, I remember starting from 3 visits per week. Then it went to 2 visits per week, and it will be 1 visit once in a while. That happens because every time you get readjusted, like I said, your body goes back to a previous situation. And you need to do it as often and as many times until your mind gets rewired into your correct stance. You notice changes straight away, but they will not be permanent. They will be extending every time that you visit. So for example, if you go there on the first visit, your results probably last until the next day. If you go on the second visit, they will be the next day and a few hours, and so on. The effect of your adjustments will be increasing the longer you go. And this happens because your brain gets rewired. And this is what we want to achieve. And just to give you an example, the result what happened during all of these sessions. When I went there a few months ago, I couldn't sit at my computer straight. I couldn't walk straight. It required me a lot of effort of doing so. Being mindful that I need to keep a posture, having muscles in order to be able to do it, I still couldn't do it until my spine got fixed. So this is something I wanted to tell you about. That first of all, you need to see a specialist, and specialist who knows what they do. And not only that, you need to reprogram your mind into having correct posture. And only then you will get long-term results, hopefully for the rest of your life. So yeah, if you like this video, press like, leave your comments in the comment section with your stories and maybe questions that you might have for me, or maybe recommendations that you need. And subscribe to this channel for more videos. Bye bye.